though, Pride Nation? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions Roundtable with your favorite YouTube group, the Detroit Sports Alliance. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a good show for you today as we talk a little football. I am a little bit under the weather, so if I seem a little bit different, that is exactly what the reason is. But because I'm addicted to football and committed to you, we here. And this is how we're going to get her in. We have ourselves an almost full house, but a very good panel today. Starting out with the most entertaining person who probably don't even realize he is Mr. Nomis J. What up, Nomis?
Hey, what's up, man? It's good to be back, y'all. Let's get into it. Hear that roar.
Absolutely. And then we have up Mr. Lions on the Proud. There's only one half of this dynamic duo. We can't call them Tony Stark and Cap. We're gonna have to get the real Detroit Lions fans to tell us about that one. But we got Mr. Jim on the building. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I'm having a great time today and loving the fact that I'm on here being able to talk Lions, talk with everybody here.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen. Then we have Mr. 313 J Mo Heart of the City in the building. What's going on, J Mo?
What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? I'm excited for today. It's a lot of Lions talk to go over, man. What's good?
And we have the queen of the day herself, Miss Rachel Marie Sports. What's going on?
What's up, guys? Excited to talk some Lions football with you tonight.
Rachel sound like me. Rachel said, "Yo, something just so." Yes, the energy is there. I'm gonna try to pick it up.
Yeah, right. Where is it, man? Where's the energy, man? We got the teams in the division, falling in shambles.
Listen, I am nothing. I'm gonna tell you right now. When I say I don't feel too good, but I'm still here, I'm still here. But we're gonna kick this show off really quickly. Can you do the roll call for me, J Mo, if you can?
All right, man. What's good, everybody? Make sure you guys like the video. We got Harry Sanders in the building. We got K-Man in the building. We got Dakota in the building. We got Weezy D313 in the building. We got Troy Thibodeau in the building. The general view was good, JGB. We got Harry Sanders. I think I said that already, but what's good, everybody? We got Motor City Stanos in the building, and Carl Campbell and James Holyfield, Scar Tissue, Kyle Webb. What's good, everyone? Detroit's on Big Will, too, man. Shout out to all the Lions fans, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, again, I am ready to get this thing cracking. If you are in here, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure that you are subscribed to all the members of the DSA. This one opens up with a very intriguing question, and it starts off with one Mr. Big V. According to the Bleacher Report, the Lions had the third most risky acquisition when it came to signing Big V. My question is, do you agree with that? Let's start off with you, Miss Rachel Marie.
So, as far as it being risky, I understand that assessment, but hear me out. Rick Wagner was on a 5-year deal worth $47.5 million, which at the time made him the highest paid right tackle in the league. And essentially, Wagner didn't live up to that contract. Bob Quinn took some of that future money saved and handed it to Big V. And while he's never really been a true starter, he has logged plenty of play time in his 4 years in the league. And at right tackle on that side is where he was putting up the best stats of his career. So, you're not going to applaud him for his pass blocking abilities from everything that I read. But run blocking is his strength, and with all of our off-season moves made to improve the run game, I'm hoping that this is less of a risk than one might think. So if the question is, do you agree? I don't think it was the third most risky acquisition. Maybe top 10, but I'm not going to put this even in the top 5 just because I can kind of see their vision with the signing.
Now, according to the Bleacher Report, their argument is that it's risky because they gave him a big starter contract, and they're saying you're doing this for a guy who had minimum starts and was a career backup. And then the other argument was that Conklin, that Conklin did a 3-year deal. Yeah, he got $10 million more. But they were saying that he was a way more proven product if you were going to shell out big money in the first place. So I think that's what they were going with it. But I agree with your point. For me, I don't think that the move is any more riskier than any other person you add to your team. I mean, you can go out there and pick up Joe Montana. Doesn't mean you're going to get the same Joe Montana who played in San Francisco. Or you can go out there and get Cam Newton. Cam Newton may not be able to run the same as he used to. So to me, to just label this the third riskiest move, this risking everything you're doing. This is football. Okay, when the Cleveland Browns gave a contract to Jamie Collins, they didn't think that he was going to do what he did. They thought they had a good player. And so forth and so on. And the same thing happens with us. We got praised for signing Rick Wagner. What's the risk level on that? So to me, I find it to be comical. What say you, J-Mo?
I say that I don't agree because I don't know how you can really quantify risk. Because at the end of the day, it's really all opinionated, and I understand their points, and I understand their points that they made about it's risky. But I knew we were gonna. I didn't like the deal for Big V, but like you said, it's not any more risk than any other player. I don't know how you even try to quantify something like risk when it is with a player when everybody is the same. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Big B signing, but I think they just making something up. Like Rachel said, like even if it was risky, I don't even see him being like the top 10 most risky player that was, added to a team. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some of our other players we drafted were more risky than Big V. I mean, I drafted, but
agree. No, I agree.
So,
I even drafted. Yeah. I think they were more risky
Yeah.
than drafted. You took a guy with a broke leg. It's gonna heal right. He gonna still have explosiveness. Yeah, I know. You took a running back who you're gonna hope to play behind this revamped offensive line. So, and you didn't really address the depth at D line. So it's not like it was that risky. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like we've done riskier things, and this isn't even the top thing to me. Big V has question about him starting, but at the end of the day, we did see him go on a playoff run and play at elite level versus elite talent. So at least he showed some type of spark, and if we think that we can pull that out of him, and like Rick Wagner was really, to me, he was garbage. Like I miss Riley Reef and Larry Warford. Like he was, and I didn't like them. Like that's how bad he was. Like his first year, he was average, and then he got worse after average. So he was not good at all. And this guy was the most highly touted offensive lineman. He was young and in his prime. We gave him this huge contract, and he was trash. So I just think, with Big B, I don't know how good he's going to be, but it's definitely not the most riskiest move.
Okay. All right. What say you, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think it's the most risky move, of course, but we're replacing, like everybody else has said, Rick Wagner, who just wasn't that good. And this guy's 26, so he's younger. He is a really good run blocker, and that's what we've been trying to address all this time. So, no, I don't think it's that big of a risk. He plays right tackle and left tackle. I know people aren't really concentrating on that right now, but we have Taylor Decker coming up too. So you never know what's going to happen. He may be shifted to left tackle. And I don't think that's going to happen, but he has that versatility. I don't think that this is too risky of a move in any way, to be honest. We got better, not worse.
I mean, right, like, did I like the contract? No. If he would have said that this contract sucks, you would not hear me debating this. But if you're talking about risk, I mean, risk is valued at the person taking the risk. I mean, I don't play poker. I don't think that, poker is a game that I would be good at. I could take the risk of losing my money, but why would I? So the risk has to be based on who it is. Now, shout out to Bob Money. What up, though? Welcome back, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Old Timer Dave says, yes, he is a Packers fan, but he loves what I bring to the table, and he follows me religiously. I respect you, Mr. Old Time Dave. Old Timer Dave in the building, man. Shout out to him. And Right or Wrong, if y'all haven't checked out Right or Wrong's videos, he is pumping out at least 100 videos an hour. I feel like that's what he's doing. So definitely check him out. He's linked in my description. That's my feature channel, so try to spread the love and show some support. What say you, Normus? I mean, do you think that Big V was the third riskiest offseason move by the Lions?
Anything involving the Lions offensive line has always been a risk, but I don't necessarily think that signing was a risk. I think TJ Lane was more of a risk when we signed him a couple years ago because you knew Green Bay players always get hurt. You gave him that much money undercover, and he only played about the same amount of games in 2 years that Matt Patricia's won. So I think it's less risk with Bit V, honestly, because, I mean, okay, fine. If you go to the draft way of looking at it, like I was at one point saying, yeah, there's offensive linemen that are probably more talented than he is that could end up growing to be better than him. But the situation handed, the Lions were looking for an option that was experienced, and he falls right under that, but you also still get youth because he's not that old. He's only like 26 years old. So he's decent quality of experience as a backup, and did at least play in the Super Bowl, so he has that experience. You gave him, I think, it's not the worst contract to give a guy like him. I mean, I understand the situation being the backup, but it's not the worst because to me, the first couple of years is actually coming off pretty cheap anyway. So I don't think it was a risk. I think you felt the need that actually made sense to the scheme that we're running, a guy who can run block and a guy who could still probably offer you at least an average level of pass blocking. I mean, it's not one player can't, make the whole line for you. It's about how well the player impacts. You know what I'm saying? And the Lions' O-line is going to consist of a unit playing as a unit, not based off one player that we bring. So the way I see it, it's a pointless and comical the reason to say that, it was a risk move. It was we made riskier moves in the past. Lions have made more riskier moves in the past. To me, this is not one of them. I don't even understand how they even come out and say that. Of all the moves, I mean, yeah, let's say we go after Jack Hockman. Yeah, it's a risk signing him too because you're paying him a lot more money in hopes that our line plays like a top 10 line, which it was almost considered to be. So you might as well get a guy who can give you the same what you need, but for a little less price and work as a whole collective unit. That's what I gotta say for that.
Well, I mean, again, even though I may not be feeling well, I think y'all hit on a lot of very good points, especially you, Numbers. You hit on a very good point. Like, wasn't it risk with taking Conklin? Because you're going to have to pay him more money. And if he don't pan out, you're shelled out more money for nothing. So it's always a risk in it. At least with this way, if this guy pans out to be a really good tackle, he's already under contract for at least another, 4 years? Yep. So, yeah, I mean, the risk is always going to be there. So I see D. Williams in the building. What's going on? Go Lions in the building. What's going on? I mean, but this next question, it's kind of from a subscriber, but it's not. This is actually from a video that I watched from. I'm not a Lions fan, and so he had dropped some videos that I listened to, and I thought intriguing. But it got me to think about a question in the discussion that we had on Discord, which is, will Matt Patricia be like Jimmy Johnson, Wayne Fontes, or Dick Vermeil? And what I mean by that is, will he have a lot of success in his third season and at the very least lead this team to an NFC championship game? We're going to start this one off with you, Jim. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. One thing I was kind of distracted a bit. I am kind of still working a bit. Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry about that.
So will Matt Patricia be like Jim Johnson, Wayne Fontes, or Dick Vermeil and have a successful third season and at the very least lead the Detroit Lions to the NFC championship game?
Oh, no, I don't. My reasoning is he really has to turn a lot around. There's a lot of things that are wrong. This is just my opinion, by the way, but I think there's a lot wrong. His usage of timeouts, his time management, clock management is not good. You have 12 men on the field. That needs to be cleaned up. There's just a lot of things that need to be cleaned up on this team. And can he do that in 1 year and be in a championship game? I think they can make the playoffs. I don't think they can make a championship game.
Well, again, hey, absolutely. Now, if you're not sure about who Not a Lion Fan is, but that is it right there on your screen. So if you have not subscribed to his channel, subscribe. I thought he made like a nice little 3-part video explaining his stance, and I appreciate anybody who put effort into making a point and they can support it. And I thought he had some good points in there. So just wanted y'all to know that. So definitely make sure y'all show some support to him and check out the video. Now, Nomis, I mean, are you feeling like Matt Patricia is going to have that type of get off this season where he comes out his third year very successful, and at the very least we make the NFC championship game?
I don't know about the whole NFC championship game scenario. I think that's a far stretch after coming off a 3-12 season. To all of a sudden just jump in there. It's still too much that we got to see from the team and direction that they're heading to. And I know when I say the word direction, I use that term lightly. A lot of fans get touchy on the word direction because they don't feel like we're going into the right direction under this head coach. So what I do see the potential to be a playoff contender, definitely. But to say that he's going to mirror that success outside of Matthew Stafford, I don't see a Barry Sanders on this team. I don't see that level of talent for this coach to have, be able to run football. It's things that have to improve to us to get. So before we start talking about Super Bowls and NFC title matches, I can't say 2 years has been enough to determine that yet. I need to wait to see more. I think what's been happening over the last 20 years, specifically over the last 10 years since Stafford's been in the game, I think we need to take every season under any coach we bring in very lightly first and see what the heck they have to offer as far as the direction of the team before we assume the championship games and anything of that sort.
I can tell you like this: if I'm playing devil's advocate, if we could play that where I don't see the Barry Sanders on this team, I can go back to Barry Sanders' time and say I didn't see a Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not about that. It's about what the coach brings to the table. They still, with a quarterback and Kramer, made it to the NFC Championship game under Wayne Fonts in his third season. That. And so if you have Matthew Stafford and you have the receivers, the tight end, and it's utilized appropriately, I mean, who are we to say that that's not a possibility? Just playing devil's advocate. That's all.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Here's my thoughts on it. Y'all know I am not a Matt Patricia fan. I am not. I've seen things that I just want to puke. And it's not there. It's just not there for me. But could that happen this year? Yes. If not this year, then he definitely got to go. You got all kind of turmoil over there in Minnesota. You got all kind of turmoil over there in Green Bay. The Bears is trying to figure out who they gonna have to throw the ball. They might rotate between two quarterbacks. If it's not now, then when? Like this year is really set up for him to succeed. And if he don't, it ain't nothing nobody can tell me. And I'm gonna sit there and everybody who's sitting up there wanting to defend it and say, oh, we got to give him more time, I'm going to be like, yep, give him all the time he needs. The further we go into the abyss, the further I want you to realize that coaching continuity does not get you wins. Should do a video on that. But in my opinion, I think this is a year where it could happen. If they find a way to establish the run, if they find a way to utilize the tight ends more in the game plan, and the defense, just for the life of me, just get between 10 to 15. We can do some damage. Hell, 15 to 20 defense can probably do some damage. And to me, I think if it's not going to be anytime, it has to be now. What say you, J-Mo? Do you see Matt Patricia as the next coach joining the club of starting off slow and picking it up in year 3?
Well, this is a shameless plug, but look, I just dropped a video today talking about the Lions gonna win the division or they have a chance to.
That ain't shameless. You know what you was doing. No, I'm just messing with you.
Hey, man. All I'm saying is but the things I said in the video is the same way I feel. I said that like Patricia is just gonna have to coach, and it's about running the ball. And when you look at having a Kerryon and Swift backfield, like to me, that's just like that's a dream scenario. So I think it's gonna work out really well. I think Matt Patricia, he's had a lot to learn. Like I'm not the highest on him, but he had a lot to learn and a lot of mistakes to make. And he's funneled out all of his guys, and he's brought in all his guys, and he's been learning and building and trying to build whatever he's gonna build. Like whatever he's been trying to build, we gonna see it this year. I agree with you. There's no way another year is going to show us something that we're not going to see this season. And when you look at the other teams in the division, I mean, they falling apart. Like it feel like 2013 again. So like they falling apart. So
Yeah.
you might as well, like in 2013 they fell apart, but defense 400 yards to freaking whatever quarterback name was, Matt Flynn, and then he got a contract in Seattle. That's crazy. But my point is the teams are falling apart, and everything lined up for Matt Patricia. So, and you got the easiest schedule in the division. So if he wins, it's just about these early divisional games. But I think that the Lions have a chance, and Matt Patricia is going to be a better coach than he was his first 2 years. I don't know where that will lead us, but I think he's going to be better, and the team is a little bit better, slightly. So maybe that'll help him out.
I mean, it's just the reality. I mean, when you go through and you look at the division, you go through and you look at how much time a person has been here. I personally don't think it takes 3 seasons for you to figure this out, but this has got to be the year. I mean, even with the crappy bye week, I'm like, if you start off 4-0 going into a bye week to then come back off of the bye week and play Jacksonville, the momentum that can be built up from that is unbelievable. Plus, you would have beaten playoff teams. So it's like, if not this year, I don't know what to tell nobody. What say you, Rachel? Do you think Matt Patricia comes out and join the club of having a third successful season, and at the very least leads this team to the NFC Championship game?
I feel like the only answer I can have for this question is I really hope so. I can't break it down much more than that, to be honest, but I was a proponent of him coming back for this third season because at the very least, I am interested in seeing what his vision is and seeing it play out. Now, I mean, we could see that and it could be a total mess, or we could see it and be like, oh, this is what he was trying to do. And now it makes sense. Now these things that I didn't think, made sense at the time, now they do. That's kind of what I'm holding on for, because beyond that, like I said, I don't really know. I can't say that anything leads me to specifically believe that he is like any of the aforementioned coaches, but I have to hold out hope that he is, and I was and always have been interested to see his vision kind of play out on the field. So if that says anything, hopefully what we do see surprises us.
I'm just, listen, I can't, listen, I say this all the time. I can't shoot down anyone's view because I think there's a level of logic to every person's view. And I'm with you, Rachel. I'm like, look, I hope so. I'm praying so. Because I've seen things that I can put on ink and show, like, why is this happening? Why is this occurring and occurring at this level? But I'm just saying, they added an extra playoff team. You got to make that, right? Like it's an extra opportunity for you to get into the playoffs. And you just look at this year. If you get off to a fast start, you could do something. Now, everybody's going to expect for me to be so, up in arms. I'll get, if he do something that has never been done, I'll be the first one to be like, thank God I was wrong. Do something I've never been done. But outside of that, I'm with you, Rachel. I pray to God that that's what he does. But if I'm telling you, this has to be the year. It's set up. It feels like it's set up for it to be the year. And I think that could be a huge move, in my opinion. Did I miss anybody on this question? I want to make sure I didn't, because I'm still on the clock as well. Now this brings me to this next question because it's intriguing. Is this year's team better than the 2011-2014 team? What say you, Rachel?
Than the 2014 team, I think we've talked about that on the show multiple times. I really think that was the best team we've had in a minute. But compared to last year, are we improved? On paper, absolutely. But well, with some question marks. I said that and then I was like, wait, don't say absolutely. On paper, I think there were definite improvements made. I also think there was some lateral moves made, which is why I say, like, I don't think that we're better than the 2014 team by any means. But I think there's an argument for being better than last year, considering health. I mean, health, just the biggest factor in all of this.
Okay, yeah, I looked at it and I just said, this is how I'm going to grade it, and I'm putting it out there. I don't think that this team is better than the 2011 and 2014 team. However, if this team do something that's never been done before, you're going to hear me singing the praises of that head coach and giving him props. Because to me, it's one of them things where you have to be able to look at it and be like, I don't think he have as much talent as people think, and he got it done. So that would be something I would look at, and I would give more praise to him for that. But to say it's better than those teams, I don't think so. What say you, Nomis?
Well, that depends. Define better, because.
Okay. I like that. So let's say we go position by position.
Yeah, that's where I was headed to. I'll start with the offense, because that was like the big thing of 2020. How explosive we are. You don't have a Calvin Johnson, and you darn sure don't got Javi Best for the first fastest games of the year. However, when you look on paper, and that's why I'm going off this on paper, I think you have a more balanced set of offense as far as the youthful talent that you do have around them. You have a lot of guys I wish we did have then. I'll say that much. And my thing is, as far as the quarterback, we already know Stafford is a much more improved quarterback since then. So when you look at that, and the playoff coordinator that we do have there, that's what he is. He's a playoff winning, Super Bowl winning coordinator. I think on those aspects, yeah, the team looks better. I don't know. It's more mature probably than they used to be. But the defense, I'm sorry, we don't have, ever since Aaron Donald has been drafted, there has not been another Sue or Donald. We don't have that guy, obviously, on the defensive line. We don't have I don't feel like we have DeAndre Levy yet, and again, a version of him. But I think overall, as far as youth talent, I think it's better than what we used to have. We used to have a lot of guys that, on the roster back in 2011 that should not have had jobs. I'm sorry. Some of those guys, would only play decent basically off the D-line. And I feel like that's why the defense used to play very adequately back then. They used to put quarterbacks on the ground a lot, put them on the shelf, actually. But as far as like overall, I think schematically we matured based off what we built, that we're actually building something. But as far as like that superstar impact player talent, we don't have it quite like we used to with Calvin Johnson. The wish should have been of Javid Best, and then of course Ndamukong too. But as far as like the building of the team, I think on paper, yeah, I want to say yeah, but it's either there. I know I was all over the place with it, but
no, I mean, but I'm not gonna kill you on it. Jill, what say you, man? Is this team better than 2011, 2014?
This is a really interesting question for me, because on paper, no. But if you think about it, I mean, I want to look at the competition a little bit this year, though. So I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. So if you look at the NFC North, like Luke was saying, I mean, I think these teams all took a step back into the Bears of the Bears. So I think there's an opportunity to win the division and possibly, get into a playoff game and win. Now, those teams didn't do that. So would the end result be better? Yes. But are they better on paper? No.
Okay, I mean, good. Listen, you made some good points there. Like I said, to me, if he wins and do what many of the fan base believe that he's going to do, and he do it with this team, my hat would be off. My hats would be off. What say you, J-Mo? Is this team better than 2011, 2014?
Better than 2011, yes. Better than 2014, no.
No.
Like the 2011 team. I mean, yeah, you had Javid Best, and we know what Javid Best did in those first 5 games. But we got Carryon and Swift and Jason Huntley, so I think we'll be fine in that department. I mean, we don't have Calvin Johnson, but we got Kenny Galladay, and then we have Marvin Jones too, and then we have Danny Amendola. Honestly, Marvin Jones and Danny are better than probably anybody on that 2011 receiving corps besides Calvin Johnson. So I mean, Chris Durham, like, come on, oh my gosh, like it's just like I think they're a little bit better than that team. And then the defense wasn't nearly as dominant as that 2014 defense. I mean, Levy, Glover, Ziggy, Sue, they all was playing their best football. So that team was better. In 2011, I feel like that was a team that was really carried by Java Best earlier. We was carried by the cushion we had when we started fouling them, really. Because so we was carried by that instead of being a complete team. Because when the playoffs happened, defense easily gave up 45 points like it was nothing. Like, so that team wasn't really that good. But the 2014 team had just way too much talent. It's Hall of Famers on that team. Like, so it's just way too much talent. I don't know if it's any Hall of Famers on this team besides Stafford. So I don't really know. But and then the last thing I'll say is this team is more complete on offense because now you got the tight ends that are supposed to be able to help you with Hawkinson and Milk Carton, Jesse James. So I think that they'll do well, man. But I think it's better than the 2011 team, but the 2014 team. No.
Okay, all right. Listen. I'm not killing nothing nobody on the panel say or nobody in there. But if y'all notice, I have I had it on the screen. Right or Wrong said he did videos, which was very damn good videos, and got me to thinking about the question. So yes, I did take that question from your video because I thought, man, you made some points that I didn't think about. But then I had to go back and look at some stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. So yes, shout out to Right or Wrong. He did make some videos to show his opinion, so definitely check those out. Man, I'm telling you, you subscribe to him, you're gonna get content, at least 300 videos in 14 minutes. I feel like he's just dropping them like left and right, man. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know how he get it in so much, but he doing it. So definitely check them out. Now let me ask this question right here, and we're gonna start this one off with you, J-Mo. Do the Lions just need to stay healthy in order to win in the NFC North?
It's never as simple as health, but sometimes it is. I feel like every season where we had a real chance besides 2014, somebody always get hurt. I mean, 2016, Stafford had 8 comebacks, and then Taylor Decker allows him to get his finger injured. Thanks, Taylor Decker. So, that's happening. And then, like, in 2017, even though Amir Abdullah wasn't that good, Amir Abdullah hurt the whole year. It's always been some type of in our running game was terrible. It's always been some type of injuries that we've had. And last year we were hurt multiple, like over 10 people on injured reserve. So I feel like if this is a healthy Lions team, then you're telling me we're gonna have a run game. Because say whatever you want about what was going on this season. When Jim Bob Cooter used I know that's a curse word, I'm sorry. But when he used carry,
I was just gonna get you too. I was like, but he caught himself. He caught himself. Good job.
But when he used Carry-On in his rookie season, he used them better than Darrell Bevell used them. Like, I know Bevell was way better, but he didn't use Carry-On as good as JBC. So with a healthy Carry-On, you're gonna have a running game, and then you're gonna have DeAndre Swift healthy too. Like, that's an absolute nightmare. And then Marvin Jones and TJ Hawkinson, like, it's possible for the squad to be healthy. And then that defensive line, if you were telling me our defensive line gonna be healthy, then I'll be like, our defensive line is gonna be very good. But like, that's just that's up in the air. I think health it plays a part in winning, and the quarterback definitely has to stay healthy. But it plays a part in winning, and if we're healthy, we're gonna have a run game, and that's my main point.
Okay. Let me jump right on in there because this is how I'm looking at it. I don't in the NFC North. I just don't. I think that if you have good coaching, health is not the issue. We've seen last year on multiple occasions of teams who had injuries and still found ways through good coaching to get wins with people I never. I'm still trying to figure out who the hell is Dustin Duck. Where did this guy come from the Steelers? Like, so if you got good coaching, I could almost say that there's a good chance that injuries can affect a lot of things, but in terms of being able to win, you should still be able to do it if you get things done right. Depth and coaching to me is what it's going to take. Nomis, what are your thoughts on this?
Depth and coaching. I mean, yeah, depth and coaching are like two of the main factors that you do need in order to win in any sport, in that matter. Along with health, I think the Lions. Part of the reason why the Lions do also lose a lot of times more than they probably should has been due to health. It's really been even Steven. A lot of times it's bad coaching, a lot of times it's bad health. And then, obviously we ain't never been the most depth team. If anything, we're the only team that's depth and depth guys versus depth starter caliber players. This is the year I think the Lions have to prove, and I'm not trying to go away from whatever the question was, but this is the year they have to prove that they can start at least staying healthy and staying in sync with each other. Because if health does become a problem, they have to have something, a game plan that they can rely on. And a lot of it is going to have to come from the coach. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it comes down to simply as running the football. I mean, that's where it kind of has to all start, because then in doubt, you have to hand the ball off.
Okay. Again, it's just too hard for me to kill what people are saying today. Jim, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, do the Lions just got to stay healthy to win in the NFC North?
Yes, I agree with this. And the reason I agree with this is because last year we were leading just about every game. We were in those games. And I think if we were healthy, we may have pushed us over the top, especially having Stafford. But also, like I made the point before, I also think the NFC North teams have taken a step back. I'm not scared of Green Bay. We play them well, and if the officials will stay out of our way, we'll be all right. The Bears don't scare me either. They have a great defense, but their offense is questionable. I think all these other teams have question marks. There's so much turnover in Minnesota, and I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But the thing is, I think the NFC North is more open this year than it has been in a long time, and I think that if we're healthy, I think it's more than possible. Yeah, I think we can.
I mean, listen, I wasn't expecting that one, but okay. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah. Queen of the queen, is your turn to step to the throne. What is your thoughts on this? I mean, do the Lions just got to stay healthy to win the NFC North?
I mean, I'm tempted to say that with the state of the NFC North right now and the steps back that I think a lot of the other teams took, that, I mean, even if we can just stay reasonably healthy, the door is open, and there is I don't want to use health as an excuse again. Obviously, last season we had an insane amount of injuries, but I'm saying that even with a couple this season, with the state of the NFC North, we should still be able to do it. Honestly, I really think so. I think at some of the positions we have more depth than we've had in any of the recent seasons. That should help. But I mean, if we stay particularly healthy and we don't do it, I will be severely disappointed, because it is set up for us this season. It really is.
I agree. I feel like, I'm telling you, if not this season, when? I mean, like, you can't even begin to understand the magnitude of this, which brings me to my next question. It is rumored that Dalvin Cook is saying that he won't do another activity until he get a contract. And so my question, starting off with you, Jim, is, how what are your thoughts about that, and how does this affect the Lions?
It doesn't. I think he'll go back as soon as he starts getting hit for a paycheck in regular season. This happens to a lot of veterans where they'd say they're going to hold out for a contract, and as soon as the workouts are over and some of the exhibition games are over, preseason and whatnot, then they come back and they start getting hit in the wallet, and a lot of them come back. So I think that's what this situation will be. And no, I don't think it will affect the Lions whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree with you. To me, the biggest thing that I looked at was, I thought, oh, well, he may not be on the field, but the new CBA say that it's more costly for the player to try to pull this move. It just doesn't make sense. And a team can't decide if I want to take the money or not. So to me, I think he will play. I think that it could have somewhat of an effect if he's sitting out and he doesn't get those reps and stuff like that. But overall, I don't think it has any real effect on the Lions, because if he plays, okay, cool. If he don't, that ain't the side of the ball I'm worried about when I play the Vikings. So to me, I don't think there's a huge impact on it, but I can definitely see how some Lion fans will look at it and be like, hey, if Dalvin Cook not in there, that's good for the Lions. And I'm not going to kill him on that. We'll say you, Rachel, you know, Dalvin Cook saying he not going to nothing else till he get that contract. How you think that affects the Lions?
Please, Dalvin, don't train. I mean, yeah, when we play the Vikings, I agree with you on that I am definitely more worried about the other side of the ball. But I mean, I've had some concerns about whether or not we have the right pieces there as far as run stuffers. So by all means, please hold out. Please don't train, because if anything, let's just feel a little bit better about when we go to play Minnesota. I think that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and I can't kill you on it. Now, Brad Broccoli says, some idiot on Twitter yesterday saying that Wentz was better than Stafford, laughing out loud. You're going to hear a lot of people say stuff like that, but they're not going to tell you.
They always say stuff like that.
They're not going to tell you that team went further without him than they did with him. And so that lets you know where his value was at. But, you know, that's food for thought. And shout out for being here. And if you have not hit that like or subscribe button, please do so. Make sure that you hit it. And if you have not told a friend to tell a friend, do so and share. J-Mo, let's talk about it. You know, Dalvin Cook is on this tip, man. I'm not playing. I'm not practicing. I don't want to look at your playbook. Pay me. How does this affect the Lions?
I think it definitely affects the Lions, because to me, Dalvin Cook is the best player on their team. And we're talking about, I'm not worried about the defense. Well, when the Vikings didn't have Dalvin Cook and they had their defense, they lost to the Lions still. Whether it was close games or not, we beat them. But when they had since that Dalvin Cook has played, we have not beat this team. So
Dalvin Cook destroys us.
Right, like he destroys us every single time. Like, so if you just like Adrian Peterson used to do, not nowhere near as good, but yeah, if that was
we had AP number. We had nobody made AP fumble more than the Lions. That man,
yeah, but he still has some great games against them.
Yeah, some great games full of put the ball on the ground. I'm just being honest. We had AP number.
I don't know about all that, but anyway, Dalvin Cook, I mean, if he doesn't want to play, and I do actually think it matters, because with running backs is the one position where players have held out. You got Le'Veon Bell, you got Zeke was holding out, Melvin Gordon was holding out as well. So you have other players that have held out, and I think if they're not willing to pay him a contract that he likes or close to what he likes, he's not gonna play, and that just makes it greater for us, because if he don't play, or if he causes some issues, or if he comes to the season not in shape and not ready, it bodes well for us. And to me, that team, especially now that they overhauled that defense, that team is Dalvin Cook. If Kirk Cousins don't have Dalvin Cook, he's not gonna be winning no games. So I would love for keep holding out. Dalvin, more power to you. Go ahead and get your money, get what you deserve, But I think it definitely affects the Lions, because Dalvin Cook we have not won a single game with Dalvin Cook playing.
Except his first game he ever played against us.
I mean,
Exactly. when we injured him. I mean, after we injured him, of course, shout out to us, because we like to injure running backs. But yeah,
listen,
he was killing us in that game before he got hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Like to me,
and we lost the Thanksgiving game when he didn't play.
That's what I'm saying. But to me, Dalvin seemed to have our number more than AP. Man, I remember AP having these good games, but man, he was putting that ball on the ground, and I was like, yes, and it was happening more than I could have imagined. I was like, man, he just be fumbling a lot against the Lions. So could be he took him light. Ain't no telling what that stands with, but that's the reality. Numbers, what are your thoughts on this? If Dalvin Cook talking about he's holding out, not gonna play no football, what are your thoughts on this, man? How does this affect the Lions?
Man, I know I'm like the most hated person on this panel when it comes to the fans and the rest of y'all. Look, understand this. I know I get the most vague answer, but look, if Dalvin Cook is talking about not getting paid, if he not go participate, if he ain't getting paid, and I'm at Patricia and Bob Quinn, why the hell am I worried about him? I got my own dramas over here. I need to be, if I'm talking about enforcing the system that's designed about winning this division and winning, championship games, I'm more concerned on building this team to fight whoever we go have to fight, regardless who's there or not, because we have more problems than one person missing on the team. They need to be preparing themselves to beat Minnesota, regardless if Dalvin Cook is there or not. To me, we shouldn't be allowing this to affect us because it shouldn't matter. Their job is to go out there and win football games. So if Dalvin Cook is talking about, he wants to get paid, I should take care. Their job is to make sure we stop whoever they go have around football, whether it's or not. You know what I'm saying? That to me, that's just they always say this. Like I remember when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, they said, in the Lions division, we still have Minnesota to deal with. So it's like, do these things matter? I mean, yeah, they matter, but do they really matter? It's about how much can the Lions win. If we start believing that this team needs to rely on somebody to get hurt or missing because they want more money or this happening, that means the Lions are just not ready to go out there and win. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you
Now, Old Timer Dave, hold on. Old Timer Dave says Wentz can't hand Stafford his shoes. Wentz didn't take anything to the playoff. He's handed something that he didn't even earn. Yeah, I mean, Wentz is one of them guys where you look at it and he didn't do much of nothing with it. K-Man said, is AP still playing? Yes, I believe he's playing in Washington. So I think it's him over there and Darius Geis from LSU. Let me see. All right, now this question comes from a subscriber and somebody who I had on the show to talk some sports with us. That's Motor City Thanos. He says he wanted this to be talked about, and he says when it comes to Darius Slay, was he more talent than IQ, or was he more IQ than talent, or was he equal amounts of both talent and IQ? We're going to start this one off with you, Jim. Talk to me. What do you think Darius Slay was?
I think he was a lot of talent. I think he had IQ, but I'm not sure it was elite level. But his talent was better. That's what I believe. So if you had to press me on it, I would say talent over IQ.
Okay, Nomis. Darius Slay, is he more talent than IQ? More IQ than talent, or equal amounts of both talent and IQ?
I say even more lines of slightly more on IQ than talent, because the reason I say is because you have to remember Darius Slay really did struggle early in his career. And that doesn't necessarily mean the talent's not there. But to me, if you're struggling to develop the system, that means you're probably gonna have to use your brain a lot more. And like even this past season, as much as he got cooked, he was getting killed by in the second game was Keenan Allen, if I'm correct, his name was. His IQ did kind of help.
You breaking up really bad, Nomis. Nomis, you breaking up really bad. Yeah. Like really bad.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but it was really bad.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying that I think it's really in and out with him. Like it's even because, again, he struggled early in his career to start really consistently getting it. That, although does not mean he don't have the talent, I feel like he did have to use his brain a lot more. I think we get ourselves misunderstood when it comes to Darius Slay. He's actually a very smart cornerback. He's worked around guys like Glover Quinn, who's and learned a lot from him. And he's developed his mind as a competitor. I think, to me, when it came to dealing with Keenan Allen, that was his brain more so than his talent. Like he had the talent, obviously, to pick the ball off and be a big playmaker, but he was actually struggling in that game. But when it came down to it, he knew how to run this guy route, and he beat him to the route, and he got us the ball. So I think it's more even, and sometimes I just feel like it'd be slightly more on his IQ, just based on how he started his career.
Okay, now if you see that I left this up there on the screen, it says two guys in the podcast. Y'all have to check them out. I am a actual subscriber to them. Y'all check them out. They talk sports. I love it, and I don't think they get enough recognition and credit for what they do over there. So if you have not subscribed to them, please do so. Make sure you check them out. and stay in the loop. You're gonna stay into some sports and you're gonna get all your fees. This is one pride for a reason. We have to be able to support each other and stay within that support so that the pride gets bigger. Because everybody knows that the bigger a lion pride is, the more crazy things get. It makes it harder for people to really step to us in ways that they don't know. There's power in numbers. Now, here's how I can kind of look at it for me in terms of Darius Slay. I think he was a healthy balance of both, and I'll tell you why. There were some games where I know for a fact he made that play off of sheer 100% athletic ability. But there were some games where I promise you, I think he set the receiver and the quarterback up, because I've seen him in trail position and the quarterback look like, oh, he got a step. And then I've seen Darius Slay kick in gear 3, run underneath the ball and pick it. I've seen him come across plays where he ain't supposed to really be in that area and get an interception. And plus, that is validated by the fact that people like Glover Quinn and even Quandre Diggs was talking about how there were plays where they knew what was coming and he played right into it. So I think he's equal parts, in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts on that, Rachel? Is he more talent than IQ, more IQ than talent, or equal parts?
I'm definitely with you on the equal parts, and it's because I also believe that to be considered, or to not just be considered, but to be an elite corner in the league, which we know he has been at some points in his career, both of those things have to go hand in hand. Because not only is he shifty, speedy, able to make those plays, like you just said, based on sheer talent, where maybe the play wasn't originally going the way that he thought it would. He was there, but also, I mean, when you watch him, it's some of the closest coverage you'll find, even in that game, versus Keenan Allen, and even against some of these elite wide receivers. It's like he looked at their playbook and knew exactly how to run the route they're going to run. He's so close. You never really see him missing an assignment. You never see him where he shouldn't be. And I think that shows those two things have to go hand in hand, or else you're not looking at him as an elite corner. You have to have the IQ to go with the talent.
Yep, I'm with you, and that was very well said. I'm with you. Now, Four Eyes TV, shout out to him. I think he is one of the few people who follows me on Instagram and shows up in sports, and he talks a lot of sports. He says, it seems to me that the players complaining about Matt Patricia saw a decline in stats. What does that tell you about those players? That's a very intriguing question for me, because
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say. So I was one. Like, sometimes I don't know if I'm the only one that it went out on. So,
yeah.
I mean,
That's why I had to say something.
I don't know if he's gonna come back, but I didn't answer yet. I'll see if he.
Yeah, just answer. You can go ahead and answer.
Yeah, I think it's even amounts of both, actually, because I'm mad Rachel went before me, and the queen of the den just had to say what I was gonna say. You don't become an elite cornerback. You don't become an elite cornerback if you don't have high level IQ and high level talent. Like, it varies from each corner, but Darius Slay has done some amazing things. I still remember, I think it was that game against Minnesota where he picked the ball off and then got the fumble. But so he's a very smart guy. He makes a lot of plays. And I think what Noma said was on point. He was bad at first with all his athleticism and all of his speed. He was not that good his first couple seasons. So I think his improvement comes from the intelligence to the game. That's all he had to learn, was the intelligence and the route combinations, and Glover Quinn helped him develop that. Being that that's all he had to learn. Once he learned it, he became an elite cornerback overnight. And to me, everybody can get lucky and there's always flukes, but the way that Darius Slay got his 8 interceptions, it wasn't like he was just getting these fluky interceptions. Like, all of them interceptions was because of him. And you don't get the interceptions, those many interceptions, though, in the way he did it, if you're not a very intelligent cornerback. I think he has even amounts of both. I know Lions fans feel bitter that he's gone, but I think he's still going to be solid after being with the Lions just because of that intelligence while his athleticism declines. And one thing about Slay is he's really been doing all the things that he's been doing with an average D line to below average D line outside of 2014. So
Good
like all
point.
of his D lines have not helped him at all. Slade, like, imagine if Slade was playing with Jalen Ramsey instead of AJ Boye. How good would he be with that Jacksonville, or if he was on the Bears with that pass rush? He would be lights out. So I think he's had to deal with all of that, and he's overcame it. And Slade is a very intelligent football player. I've never thought that he wasn't intelligent. I thought that he was so talented and so outspoken and big play, and that personality made people think that he's not one of the most intelligent cornerbacks. He's a very intelligent cornerback.
Agree. Especially when you look at what he do in the community. Now, first of all, shout out to Jackson Kruger Sports. If y'all don't know who Jackson Kruger Sports is, then I don't know what y'all been doing, man. This dude does so much, man. And I've done collaborations with him. I am definitely one of his subscribers and a contributor. And I'm telling you, man, but this is a channel that you definitely want to subscribe to. He says, I saw Slay out of position pre-snap a fair amount last year, but I blame coaching more than him because he didn't have those problems before Patricia. And then just like rapid fire comes Fred Jackson that says, I'm not about to defend Matt Patricia. That's the same man who wanted Richard a zone corner when you're playing man-to-man defense. Again, I'm not gonna bash Matt Patricia. I'm gonna let this season do it for me. And if he proves me wrong, great. And if he proves me right, that sucks because that means my team didn't succeed where I wanted them to do. So it would be a travesty if that was the case. Now let me see. We could probably do maybe one more question, and then we can go to the questions from the chats. So this one comes courtesy of 1313 JMO. Is Corey Underlin one of the Lions' most underrated moves this offseason? Let's start off with you, Rachel. Let's talk about it. Is he one of the most underrated moves by the Lions this offseason?
I definitely think he's set to be. He has a long coaching resume, and just from everything that I've seen about him, it's funny because he tends to end up with defensive-minded head coaches as well. Eagles players praise him for being specifically great about honing in on the fundamentals. And I've watched this defense over the past couple of years. That's something that I really think that we could use. I mean, I just reading everything that players had to say about him kind of tells me everything that I feel like I need to know before seeing him take over this team. If he's gonna, or this defense, but if he's gonna help them with the basics and build from there, that's what we need. Because I mean, obviously we don't have Darius Slay anymore, but in our secondary, I mean, and our linebackers and our line, how many tackles have you seen them miss? So if he's the type of coach that's going to hone in on that, then I think he is going to be a great asset.
I mean, listen, I don't know if I necessarily agree or disagree with that. I just don't know if it's going to be his defense. Like, I don't see Matt Patricia releasing his defense to a guy who wasn't a defensive coordinator. I don't see that. I don't.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but he let Paul Pasqualoni control the defense. So
see, I don't believe that neither. I don't believe that. I do
believe he let Pasqualoni do it for a while and was like, all right, yeah, let me take this back over, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I don't believe he'll give him that shot. I don't. I think that there's a different level of respect with PP. Immature. I think there's a different level of respect with him versus this guy. I mean, you got to keep in mind when you put somebody on a win now mandate, you're not going to go out and get the best people. You're going to have to give somebody a shot who's willing to try to prove themselves this year. And if they don't, at the very least, it's not a lot of collateral damage because they knew that they was on borrowed time. But I don't know if he's going to relinquish the rings.
I think even if he doesn't, if there's still somebody else there to help that focus on technique, that's still a plus.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reality. That's the reality of it. J-Mo, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, listen, this is your question. So I thought it was a good one. So what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think that he's the most underrated move that the Lions did this season?
I think that he is only because of I'm looking at this differently than you are, Luke and Rachel. It's just about the expectation. We don't expect him to be much. Luke, you don't expect him to even have control of the defense. So how much does he have to live up to? And then you're listening to what the players say about him and the fact that he does have experience and the fact that he does work on technique and he's a young, not young, but I mean like a fresh mind for Matt Patricia to add something, some more intricacies to the defense. So I'm just looking at what's the expectation, because if this defense improves, I'm going to tell you something. It's not going to be just because of Matt Patricia. It's also going to be because of Corey Underlin helping him out. And at the end of the day, what's the expectation? Most people think he's a puppet in the first place. And that's the perspective that I'm looking at it from, because I think our defense will be much better than it was last year. I ain't going to say it's going to be elite. I ain't crazy like that. But I think it's going to be much improved, and it's going to be because Corey Underlin. The main reason why is Paul Pasqualoni didn't add anything to the defense. So you should track that guy, and you add a guy that I think is going to actually add something to the defense and improve our players and be able to call some plays to help things out. And at the end of the day, the expectation is not for him to come in and be that elite guy, because he's not some defensive coordinator that we know about. But when you're looking at it based on the expectation, Corey Underlin is the last thing that Lions fans even think or talk about, because no one really cares. We only care about Patricia. So I think based on expectations, he could be the most underrated signing that we have this year if we have an improved defense.
Okay, all right. Jim, what are your thoughts on this, man? I mean, could this be the most underrated move that we've done so far, and we just not realizing how big this is?
The most underrated move. I don't know. I think it depends, like you said, and I agree with you 100%. I think it really depends on how much he's going to be able to change the defense, or how much control he's actually going to have. Also, the thing is about developing the corners, developing players. That's another thing that for me is I don't know if he can do that here or not yet. But I think the whole key to this is I think it's still Patricia's defense. So I don't think it's that much under the radar or whatever, because I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I'm hoping it does, but my gut tells me probably not.
Okay, listen. I'm not killing nobody's opinion, but let's talk about it, Nomis. Do you think that this is the most underrated move that we're not talking about?
That remains to be seen.
Nomis, you breaking up really bad. You breaking up really bad. Am I the only one to hear him breaking up?
No, I hear it too.
Yeah, it's real bad. You got a really bad connection, Nomis. All right, listen. What we'll do is, because like I said, I'm not feeling too well. I want to get some rest. Let's go into the questions with the chat. Any questions that you guys have, or ladies, make sure that you post them in the chat. We will address them. You can address them to us individually, us as a panel, and we will address them. Nomis, is your sound working over there better?
Gotta hope so.
Okay, I hear you. So you want to touch on that question? Is Underlin the most underrated move that we're not talking about?
There's a very could be possibility to that, because the fact of the matter is, I don't know it's about the play calling, because he's obviously not probably going to do a tremendous amount of play calling, but what I think he will be able to do for the defense, I mean, when you think about Patricia, he really loves his linebackers and his DBs. And Corey Udine, who was also recently basically the DB coach. So you're bringing a guy in here who's going to help you get those DBs in ground, because no matter what is happening up front, Patricia's always with those DBs. I think his
thing is to get those. It's doing it again. It's doing it again, Nomis. It's doing it again, Nomis. Again,
No,
again, we're gonna go to the question. Sorry, Nomis. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sorry, Nomis. All right. So the first question comes up. Let me see. Wait, I skipped it. There we go. Boom. Will Christian Jones play his special team? Yeah, he gonna have to. he gonna have to. Them days of sitting back and chilling is over with. He has to. What do you think, Rachel? You think Christian Jones got to get into some special teams?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I don't think there's another answer there. I'll just keep it simple.
Okay. This one gonna go to everybody. Mellow Mo says, when we win the Super Bowl this year, how will you celebrate? I'm gonna say mine for last because I'm a full-fledged. I'm gonna go nuts. But let's start off with you, J Mo. We win the Super Bowl this year. How you gonna celebrate?
Yeah, see, I can't tell y'all how I'm gonna celebrate because I'm not gonna remember. So, like, that's how. So I'm not gonna remember what happened that night. All I'm gonna remember is on my chest, Lions won the Super Bowl painted. So, and that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is.
Hey, I can't kill it. I can't kill it. I can't kill it. Jim, because I know Jim is Jim been waiting longer than all of us. Jim, Lions win the Super Bowl this year. How you gonna celebrate?
I'm not a drinker, but I will be so drunk that night.
Boy, what? Tell him.
I'm telling you. If there's no other reason to celebrate, I've been watching this team for over 40 years, and I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm going to be kicking it back. I'm going to be having some fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the biggest celebration I think this city would ever seen. I really do. Even though the other teams have won, this one, it just seems like there's going to be this massive, huge party for it.
Rachel, Lions with the Super Bowl, how will you celebrate?
Man, these things popping into my head. I'm gonna cry a lot, and
yes,
like 100%, and then I'm going to buy my dad a Stafford jersey because he's always joking with me about my support for Stafford. And then I'm actually going to go to Disney World, but I have an annual pass, and I'm going to wear my Lions gear and, yeah, do that whole traditional thing. Like, if the Lions win the Super Bowl, I'm going to go to Disney World.
See,
Uh-oh, you cut out.
That's gonna be the longest celebration y'all ever seen. I think.
I agree.
Yeah, I think my celebration might last at least a month to a month and a half. It's gonna be a lot of dancing. I'll be going live randomly just over and over for the whole week, like saying the same thing of like we won the Super Bowl and then getting off. I'll be the most obnoxious person for that win that nobody can tell me. Like Just like they don't even understand. Like I'm with Jim. I don't drink, but I get drunk that day. That'll be the day it's gonna go down. I'm serious.
Yeah, man. Look, I don't drink either, but I'm with you, Luke. Like, y'all better hope the Lions don't win the Super Bowl because y'all not gonna like me no more. I'm talking to everyone on the panel and the listeners because you're not gonna like me. Like,
Man,
I'm gonna be a nightmare for these Lions fans and these Stafford players, man. It's gonna be crazy. You're not gonna like me no more.
All right, so this comes from that dude live. He says at DSA, what is your bold prediction for the Lions? Good or bad? This is for everybody. J-Mo, give me your bold prediction for the Lions. Good or bad?
I'm gonna go good. My bold prediction is we gonna go from, I think we was 29th in defense. We're gonna go from 29th in defense to 14th. That's my bold prediction.
Okay. Jim, give me your bold prediction, whether it's good or bad.
I think it's going to be good. I predict that we're going to sweep Green Bay this year.
Okay. All right. Rachel, give me your bold prediction, good or bad.
I'm going to go good, too. I'm taking Jim's sentiment a little bit farther. Don't at me, you guys, because this is bold, but we're going to sweep the division.
Wow. My bold prediction is this. Matt Patricia will make me eat my words, and he will take this team to the NFC Championship game. That's my
Nice.
bold prediction.
Nice.
Yeah, that's also my prayer, but I'm just put that as my bold prediction. just gonna throw it out there. Let's see. Let me see. Did I miss any other questions? Let me scroll down. Let's see. This one comes for Four Eyes TV. How do you think Stafford is going to look statistically this year? I think the same he do every year. He'll definitely get over 3,500 yards. But I think that what you'll see the biggest dip in is his passing attempts. I really believe that they're going to try to run the ball a lot more this year, which is going to probably give Stafford his lowest attempts, not including a season that he got hurt. I just think that's where they go with it. So, no, Miss, is you back working?
Yeah,
No?
everything good.
No.
Everything good.
All right. Yep, I hear you. I hear you there. Abdullah Terrell, what's going on, brother? He says, "What do you think will have the better? Who do you think will have a better career, Jeff Okudah or Romeo Okwara? Are you talking about Julian Okwara, or are you really talking about Romeo Okwara?"
Yeah, he said Julian later.
Oh, okay. So he said Julian later. So who do you think will have a better career, Julian Okwara or Jeff Okudah? Oh, this is gonna be fun. Nomis, what do you think?
I'm going with Okudah. Because you coming into a situation where I believe it's DB friendly to a certain degree, but I mean he's going to get a lot of opportunity because he is a first round pick. And I do feel like with the line, I do really see him getting better every year if everything goes right with him in his development. So yeah, I kind of see the ceiling being just a tad bit higher for Okudah. I don't know about necessarily a Hall of Fame greatest DB of all time, but I mean, I do see him being a very good DB for the Lions.
J-Mo, who do you think will have a better career, Jeff Okudah or Julian Okwara?
Most definitely Jeff Okudah. Like, I don't care if Jeff Okudah got torched this entire year, like just lit up. I still believe in his potential to learn and get better because just like we were talking about Slay, he's an extremely intelligent cornerback. So I think Jeff Okudah is going to be a great player regardless. I don't think there's nothing stopping him from being great. But Julian Okwara, he's a question mark. Either he's going to be boom or bust. I don't think he'll be middle of the ground. I mean, I actually think he's going to be one of our best players. But, that's just me thinking that. But I think Okudah is definitely going to be the better player.
Rachel, Okudah or Julian Okwara? Who you think has the better career?
I gotta go with J-Mo on that one. I just think as far as a career as a whole, I think it's going to be Jeff Okudah. I don't know what his rookie season is going to look like, and we've got these super high expectations. He's got to go out there and be an immediate starter, but no matter how he starts, I think he's poised to have a good career in this league, especially given time to develop. I think we'll be talking about him a few years from now like, wow.
Okay. Jim, who do you think will have the better career? Jeff or Julian?
Jeff. Because there's a few reasons for that, but number one is because he better be.
Right, third overall.
People are thinking, but if Julian Okwara ends up having a decent career, then Okudah is going to have a better one, just because of the number of interceptions, because of pass rush and all that stuff. At this point, he's going to be starting right away as well. So I don't know if Julian's going to start right away. Plus, Okudah's not injured right now. Okwara still has I don't know if he's healed up from that broken leg yet and all that stuff. So there's still marks. They say he is, okay, but I still don't think he's going to start. He might, but I don't think he's going to start.
All right, well, I think it's
going to be Okudah.
Okay, leave it to me to be the a-hole. I listen. It's just logical, people. Like, it's a reason why I love teams who run the ball so much, because I think there's a less chance of turnover with running the ball. It's a shorter distance to get the ball to the person that needs to run it versus passing it. When the ball is in the air, there's more room for error with the ball being in the air. And to me, when you go to the defensive side of the ball, the guy who's closest to the quarterback has the best chance for effect upon the game. I think Julian Okwara has a better career than Jeff. Because to me, Jeff's job is going to be contingent upon what Julian Okoye and the rest of that front seven can do. So to me, I think Julian will have a better one because all you asking him to do is really get to the quarterback and maybe cover a few running backs to the flats. Okuda going to get asked to do a whole lot against a whole lot of good people. And I think if you don't have the D-line to back it, it gets sketchy for me. But I'll be the oddball today, the controversial one, and I'll say it's going to be Julian.
It's a good point, Luke, but we don't have Amir Abdul anymore. That's good because he
good point there too. Marcus Thanos says, how many touchdowns would TJ get if the Lions use him more for this season? Great question. J-Mo, this one for you.
8. I want to say 10, but I'm gonna be conservative and say 8. I think 8 is right around where he should be able to give it. I think he is gonna give us 8 touchdowns, honestly, as long as he's healthy.
Okay. I think he should be around 8. They should be using him more in the red zone. Him and Jesse James, but that is yet to be seen. We will be looking to see what happened. Let's see. Go Lions says at the show the panel, would the Lions offensive line nickname be Pancake City? Interesting.
Depends on
okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Nickname gonna be Big Nasty. I'm telling y'all, Stenberg and Jonah gonna change the mentality around here, man. Big V too.
Well, Stanberg better learn how to pass rush because I think we're gonna still be a passing team. But and Big V to me, I honestly think he's a better pass blocker than run blocker. But that's just me, based on what I've seen on film. But Pancake City, I hope not. I don't know if I like that because there's too many jokes you can come up with that. Like a bunch of big guys, some pancakes.
Yep.
I don't know if I like that one. They got to come up with something else. I don't know what we're gonna come up with, but that can't be it in my opinion. Let me see what else we got here. All right, that's it. Huh?
No, Melamo said who will have a better season, Kerryon or Swift?
Did I miss that? Oh damn, I did miss that. My bad. Again, I don't really feel well. Melamo, who will have a better season, Kerryon or Swift? All right, I'll start this one off. Everybody can answer, but I'll start it off. Stay with me, people. If Kerryon is healthy, he will have the better season. I got to preference the healthy part because I believe he will get more carries. And the reason I believe he gets more carries is because I believe he's a slightly better pass blocker than Swift. So that means he's in the game more often. However, I don't expect for Kerryon to stay healthy. So therefore, I'm going to say Swift is going to get a lot of carries, and I think he'll have the better season. What say you, Jim?
I also think it's going to be Swift, and for some of the same reasons. But I think Swift has just another dimension. I think he's faster than Kerryon in the open field. I think I don't know if he's shiftier because I love Kerryon too. I like both, but I do think it comes down to health and availability, and I think Swift will be better.
Okay. J-Mo, who you think would have a better season, Swift or Kerryon?
I think Kerryon, and it's actually because of Swift. I think Swift is gonna mismatch some defenses and change their minds on some things, and I think the change of pace will take pressure off of Kerryon and allow him to do things differently because they'll be prepared for different things. And I also think he's going to get more carries. Like at the base of it, I know injuries is always a concern, but I think he'll be healthy and he'll get more carries than Swift will, just more touches in general. So.
Okay. Rachel, I'll toss this one to you. It says just Jackies. Did I say that right?
No.
Just Jacks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it could be Jackie. It could be Jock.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Figure out.
That's Jock.
If I pronounced it wrong, I apologize.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna learn. You're gonna learn quickly that I suck at names. That's why I call him Big V because that whole trying to pronounce papa is too much. It's too much. I can't do it. My tongue don't move like that. But he says if Marvin Jones plays well this season, what's his future in Detroit? Well, that's a very good question. Oh, that's a very good. That's you know what? That's question of the day right there. Because if he play well, and I know a lot of Lions fans ready for him to be ghost, so they can see this guy Quentin Cephas that they putting all this praise and heap on. That's a very good question. Rachel, what is your thoughts on it? What is his future if he does well this season?
I personally love Marvin Jones. I think he is very underrated. I think even, even at his age, which you don't want to say old, but football old, you know what I'm saying? I think that he's a fantastic contested catch receiver. If he plays well again this season, I think there's two things that could happen. I think they are poised to let him go, but why not bring him back maybe on a 1 year or 2 year deal if the price is right? I mean, that's what I hope for. I hold out for that because I don't know what kind of money he's going to get going elsewhere. So if he just wants to play, and he seems like a for the love of the game kind of person to me, I'm all in on them offering him like a 1 year or maybe a 2 year if the price is right.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go and join you on that bridge that you gave $6 million to Danny Amendola for one touchdown and 600 yards. Damn it, you can give a little bit more to keep a guy who had a good season in Marvin Jones and has shown that he's had a propensity to be more than just a slot receiver. So I say his future is pretty damn good. He at least gets another 1 or 2 years to keep going, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
great one, Mike says,
I'm about
will
to
the
say, I don't know
Lions?
about that either.
I don't agree with that.
Me
Listen.
neither. Go ahead, Jim.
Listen.
Because if everything goes well,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the Patriot way to keep him. If things blow up, the new regime may not want him. So there's so many moving parts there to say, I just think he's going to get a deal at that age. I'm not so sure he does, even if he has a good season.
Yeah, but it's only 1 year. We're talking 1 or 2 years. You gave a 1 year deal to Danny Amendola for 600 yards.
No, I'm with you on that. I just think they were ready to move on. Like the type of year he would have to have for me to think the Lions would keep him. You need to have
600 yards.
1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns.
He just
And I
needs to
don't think
stay
he's gonna
healthy.
do that.
He got to just stay healthy, get 600 yards and 1 touchdown. He getting at least $6 million. I promise you. I promise
Hey,
you.
man, I just think they're ready to move on from Marvin Jones. I don't think he can do anything to keep him here, honestly, unless
Okay.
he got what he got.
Okay. The great one, Mike says, will the Lions finally click on all cylinders this season? Offense, defense, special team? No. I swear they won't. No. Every year, you think that all parts going to be working, but if you'd have left out one part of that, I'd have probably said maybe they click on special teams and offense, or maybe they click on defense and offense, but special teams suck. Or maybe they click on defense and special teams, but all cylinders? When's the last time they did that? I don't know. Motor City Thanos says, who would have more sex between the brothers? Jim, who do you think? Julian or Romeo? I think it's a push in my opinion, but who do you think?
I think Julian. I do. For one of the reasons that you kind of opened my eyes to, Luke, is that he may not be there.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I think they pump fake and got that boy here for no reason. They gonna ship Romeo up out of here. Watch.
If that happens, then the answer is obvious.
Yep. Let me see. Real has a question. He says, look at my question, Luke. Let me see. I'm coming down the line, man. I'm coming on down. Where's your question? Oh, I see what he did. So listen, I forgot to do this. I will be debating. these people are funny. I will be debating Andrew tomorrow on the Real Detroit Lions Fans channel. Y'all don't want to miss this. He wants to have this smoke, and I know it's not going to be an easy task, but if your minds are open, it's finna get real. And I'm finna show you why the reality is not always what you think it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. But I see what you did there. I feel you. Gonna troll me a little bit. I ain't mad at you. Let's see. All right, that's it, good people. That is it. Let's get to those final thoughts. We'll start off with you, J Mo. Give your final thoughts to the people. And tell them, how you feeling right now.
What's good, everybody? I think we had a great show today. I mean, I'm one of the people that I do think Dalvin Cook matters a little bit. I hope that TJ Hawkinson can live up to the hype, but Man, no matter what we think the Lions gonna do this year, we just need a team that has some consistency and continuity. Make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA, and make sure you guys don't miss out on checking out the website. And as always, sign Kenny Galladay or I lose my mind.
I know, right? Then we go over to the Queen of the Den. Talk to him, your Highness. Tell him what happened, because we don't just get opinions when you speak. That's an order.
Well, as always, thank you guys, everybody in the chat. You were awesome, and all the members on the panel. Don't forget to like the video. Make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Everybody is always putting out good content. Don't miss Luke and Andrew's debate, because that one's going to be a really good one. I'm going to tell you right now. And as always, one pride.
Yes, and it's not gonna be easy, but watch this. I'm gonna have some fun with it while I can. Jim, final thoughts.
Hey, I'm just gonna say something about the TJ Hawkinson question for my last thing here. They're bringing him into block, and if you want to have a run game, I don't think he gets higher touchdown numbers because of the fact that he will be probably run blocking quite
Good point
this year.
Good
but
point.
No, for everyone else, I really appreciate you guys coming and supporting and being with us. Man, I mean, with all the stuff that's going on, to just take a break and talk about your favorite team, it's just amazing that we have this outlet, and we appreciate you guys coming and everybody on the panel being able to do it, and Luke for pushing through tonight. I appreciate you, man. So
thank you.
With all that being said, guys, you know what? Call your mom, call your dad, get in touch with your loved ones, and just take each day, man, as you never know. And I had some things go on, so I had to say that. So I just wanted to let you know, okay? Everybody out there, just show your love for your people, okay?
Absolutely. And again, thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, Jim. Now, people, I told you I don't really feel too well, but I'm still here. And it got me to thinking about some things. And it's funny that what was just said now by Jim kind of goes hand in hand with it, because today's positive message comes from somebody that you may not have thought can have a positive outtake. I am talking about Thanos. That's right, people. The Marvel supervillain, Thanos himself. You see, this quote really jumped out to me because I just looked at the current state of things, and it talks about this thing of destiny. Here's what he says: destiny, dread it, run from it. Destiny still arrives, or should I say, I have. And what I thought about when I first heard this was the part of, or should I say, I have arrived. See, that tells me that that's a person who has taken destiny into his own hands. He said that, yeah, I may be along for the ride, but that does not mean that I have to completely go with what is happening on this ride. So it got me to looking at this and saying to myself, we have to start to take control of our own destinies. In other words, all the things that you thought that you couldn't do because you didn't have enough money, find the money. Get in control of your destiny. All the things that you said that you wanted that you didn't get the smallest thing first. Reset your destiny. Every time you thought that there was no clear-cut answer to what it is or what direction you should go, follow the direction that it has, but make sure that you're open-minded to the suggestions of others along that route. And at last, if you can't do nothing else, understand that destiny is always going to play out when you refuse to do something about controlling it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you take a second to just reflect on those who you care about and love. Hug them, call them up, tell them I miss you. Hey, just thinking about you, and just embrace that moment. Embrace the sound of their breath. And if that's still not enough, just tell them I love you. As always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please, 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 please do your research. We are out.